Hello, and welcome back to Money Matters Business Finance 101. I'm Randi Turkin. I'm the founder and CEO of I Need a Clone Consulting and Bookkeeping, and I help business owners understand the story their numbers are telling them so that they can make clearer, more confident decisions in their businesses. This monthly class is where I take some of the most important business finance posts that I have shared throughout the month and go deeper than I can in a social media caption. Because sometimes a post gives you the quick reminder, but a class like this gives us room to actually talk through what it means. A lot of the topics I cover here come from real questions that I hear from clients, potential clients, and conversations happening in my DMs. Things like, what do I fix first if my books are a mess? Do I really need a separate business bank account? How do I actually use a budget in my business? What should I do with profit when I finally have some? And underneath all of that, there's usually one deeper question. How do I understand my business finances without feeling overwhelmed? So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to look at what to fix first when your numbers feel messy, why separating personal and business finances matters, how to make budgeting more useful, how to think about profit with purpose, and why learning your business is one of the most powerful investments you can make as a CEO. So let's start here because this is one of the most common places business owners find themselves. Your business finances feel messy. Maybe you are behind on your bookkeeping. Maybe you have personal and business expenses mixed together. Maybe you have transactions sitting uncategorized. Maybe you haven't opened your reports in a month or in months because every time you think about it, your nervous system basically says, no, thanks. And I want you to hear this clearly because you're not the only one. I do this too. Sometimes if there are a lot of expenses, I'm like, oh, I don't even want to look at how much money is going out. But this is where a lot of business owners get behind because if you make it a habit to avoid your numbers, then you're going to get behind. And I know that a lot of business owners start out doing the best that they can with the tools and knowledge that they have. And then one day they realize that the system they were using is no longer strong enough to support the business that they're building. So this just means that your business needs more structure. So where do you start? The first thing I would look at is whether your business bank and credit card accounts are connected and up to date inside your bookkeeping software, because you cannot make clean decisions with incomplete information. If transactions are missing, if accounts haven't been connected properly, or if the data is months behind, then your reports are not going to tell the full story. The second thing I would look at is anything uncategorized, duplicated, or obviously incorrect. For example, if you see a software subscription categorized as meals or income showing up as an expense or duplicate transactions that make it look like you spent twice as much as you actually did or earned twice as much as you actually did, then your reports are going to be distorted. And this is important because your reports are only as useful as the data behind them. Okay. The third thing is to separate personal and business expenses moving forward. And I'm going to talk about this more in detail in a minute. But if personal transactions already happened in the business account, that they can usually be cleaned up. It's not the end of the world, but you do want to stop adding new confusion to your books. Okay. The fourth thing is to look at your reports with fresh eyes. So you're looking for clues. Do any categories look strange? Like, do you see something that you don't normally see? Are expenses higher than you expected? Are you missing income? Did you maybe get it deposited into a different bank account? Does anything on the report not match what actually happened in your business? And that's why you want to be looking at this on a monthly basis, because you are not going to remember. This is where you start becoming more financially literate as a business owner. You begin to notice when something feels off. And that is a super powerful feeling because once your numbers are clean, or at least cleaner, you can finally start understanding what your business is trying to tell you. Now, let's talk about that thing, the personal account that you're using for business. This is one of the biggest reasons business finances get messy in the first place. So please, with love, Stop using your personal bank account for business. I say that with compassion because I understand how this happens. In the beginning, it can feel harmless. You're testing out an idea. You're making a little money here and there. You're not really sure if this is a real business yet. So you use the bank account that you already have. But once money starts moving in and out for business purposes, mixing business and personal money makes everything harder than it needs to be. It makes bookkeeping messier. It makes tax time more stressful. It makes it harder to see whether the business is actually profitable. And it blurs the line between I made money and my business has money. Those are not always the same thing. You may have money coming in, but if it's all landing in your personal account and personal bills are being paid from the same place, it becomes very difficult to see what belongs to the business, what belongs to you personally, what needs to be saved for taxes, and what is actually available to spend. So a separate business bank account gives your business a clean financial home. That's the simplest way to think about it. Your business needs its own place for income to come in and expenses to go out. That separation helps you track income, expenses, cash flow, and profit more clearly. It also makes it easier for your bookkeeper, and that might be you at this point. It makes it easier for your tax preparer and honestly for future you, because future you does not want to be sitting there months from now trying to figure out whether that Amazon charge was printer paper for the business or dog food for the house, right? So a few business banking options you may want to look into are Relay Bank. That's my absolute favorite. That's what I use for my business, and that's what I have a lot of my clients on. Chase, Novo, Bluevine, and American Express. The right fit depends on your business. It depends on your needs and how you like to manage your money. So the biggest point here, you need to decide which bank is going to work best for you, but the biggest point here is that your business needs a separate financial container. And that one step alone can make your books cleaner, your reports clearer, and your decision making much stronger. Now, let's talk about budgeting. And I know budgeting is not always everyone's favorite topic. A lot of business owners hear the word budget and immediately feel restricted or feel like they want to run for the hills. So it's because a lot of people think of a budget as this rigid rule book that tells you what you're allowed to do, which, as we all know, entrepreneurs just love when people tell them what they have to do, right? But a lot of people think that it's something that a budget is something that exists to make them feel bad whenever they overspend. But that is not how I want you to think about a business budget. In fact, I usually like to use the word playbook instead of budget. It's the same thing, but playbook has the word play in it, so it makes it more fun automatically. So a budget or a playbook is just a guide. It's a plan for how money is expected to move through your business. It helps you see where your money is going, where you may be overspending, and whether your current financial choices actually support the business you say you're trying to build. But here's the part that matters. Your budget has to be connected to reality. A budget that lives in a spreadsheet and never gets looked at again is not going to help you very much. A budget that exists only in your head is also probably not going to help you very much because your brain is already holding enough. So there are 3 ways to manage your business budget better. First, use bookkeeping software that lets you track your budget against your actual numbers. Xero and QuickBooks Online both allow you to compare what you planned to spend with what actually happened. That comparison is where the learning happens for you, okay? Second, keep your business accounts connected and up to date. I mentioned this earlier, but if your bank and credit card feeds are not current, then your actual numbers are not going to be current either. And if your actual numbers are not current, then your budget comparison is not going to be very useful. Third, review your budget versus actual reports regularly. This is where you start asking better questions. Did I spend more on software than I had planned? Did I invest more on marketing this month? Did revenue come in lower than expected? Did I forget to budget for something I actually need every month? So this is not about shame. It's not about shaming yourself over every single dollar. It's more about your awareness. Because when you can see the difference between what you planned and what actually happened, then you can make adjustments. And that is what makes budgeting or having a playbook useful. This is not control for the sake of control, it's clarity for the sake of better decisions. Okay, now let's talk about profit. Profit is not just money you made. Profit is a very valuable resource. And when you use it intentionally, it can help you strengthen the foundation of your business and create more room for growth. But this is where a lot of business owners get tripped up. They see profit and immediately think, great, I can spend more. Or if you're on the other end of the spectrum, you think, okay, cool, I made some money, but I should hold on to every single penny because what if something goes wrong? Neither one of those is automatically wrong because sometimes reinvesting makes sense. Sometimes saving makes sense. Sometimes paying down debt makes sense. Sometimes the smartest move is to leave the money alone for a minute and actually understand what the business needs next. That's why I do not love blanket advice like you should always reinvest your profits. No, you should understand your numbers first and then decide. Depending on where your business is right now, your profit may need to go toward paying down business debt. That might be credit cards, loans, or balances that are costing you every month. Your profit may need to go toward upgrading tools or software, especially if your current systems are slowing you down or creating extra manual work. It may need to go toward marketing, but only if you have enough clarity around your offer, your audience, and your ability to actually serve the clients or customers that come in. It may need to go toward your own education or skill set because sometimes the next level of the business requires the next level of you. It may need to go toward outsourcing or hiring support. It may need to go toward saving for taxes. And it may need to go toward building a cash reserve. There is no one size fits all answer here. This is what I like to think of as profit purpose. Your profit needs a job, not because every dollar has to be micromanaged, but because profit without intention can disappear very, very quickly. If you've ever had a wad of cash in your pocket and you don't know what you're going to spend it on, you maybe understand what I'm talking about. And if you worked hard for that profit, then you want to make sure it's actually supporting the business that you're trying to build. Clean, accurate financials help you see whether your business is stable enough to invest, where your money is flowing. It helps you decide what kind of reinvestment would actually support your next level. So that's the difference between spending money because money is there and making a strategic decision because the numbers support it. So this next reminder is one I believe deeply. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Learning how to understand your business is not optional. And I don't mean you need to become a bookkeeper, accountant, a tax strategist, a marketing expert, operations manager, and CEO all at once. Please don't do that to yourself. But I do mean that the more you understand the moving pieces of your business, the more empowered you become. Understanding the moving pieces like your numbers, your systems, your offers, your pricing, your client flow, your patterns, your capacity, your vision. All of these pieces are interconnected. Your numbers do not exist in a vacuum. If your pricing is too low, your numbers will show that. If your capacity is maxed out, your numbers may show that too. If your expenses are growing faster than your revenue, your numbers will show that. If you are making money, but constantly feeling strapped for cash, your numbers are trying to tell you something. And when you learn how to listen, you become a more grounded CEO. Knowledge gives you clarity, and clarity gives you confidence. That doesn't mean you will always know the perfect decision immediately, but it does mean you can stop making decisions from avoidance, confusion, or scattered energy. Those are not fun places to be. So whether you are learning how to understand your books, trying to get out of financial overwhelm, or figuring out what structure your business needs next, investing in the right knowledge can change everything. Because when you understand your business better, you can lead it better. And this is also why I created the Vision to Execution Accelerator, because sometimes the issue is not just bookkeeping. Sometimes it's that you have a vision for where your business is going, but you don't yet have the structure, strategy, or grounded execution plan to actually hold that vision. The accelerator is for the business owner who has ideas, who has momentum, and a deeper calling for what she wants to create, but she needs help translating that into decisions, systems, financial clarity, and action. Inside this work, we are not just looking at numbers in isolation. We're looking at the business as a whole. What are you building? What is your vision? What offers are actually supporting that vision? What needs to change in the numbers? Where are you leaking energy, time, or money? Where are you hesitating when it's time to make a decision or to act on that decision? And what structure needs to be created so you can move forward with more certainty, confidence, and momentum and leave the fear behind? This is where the soul of your business and the strategy of your business meet. So if bookkeeping is about getting the numbers clean and clear, the accelerator is about using that clarity to make stronger decisions and actually move. Now, let's talk about the different ways that I and we at Clone can support you, because not every business owner needs the same thing. Some business owners need someone to take bookkeeping off their plate completely. Some need higher level financial insight and advisory support. Some are still early stage and want to learn how to manage their own numbers with more confidence. So there are a few different paths here. So monthly bookkeeping is for you if you want clean, accurate books delivered consistently so that you can stop falling behind and start making decisions from real numbers. This is where we're keeping the books current for you. We're reconciling your accounts. We're organizing all of the transactions and giving you reports you can actually rely on. CFO level advisory is for you if you already have trustworthy financial data and are ready to use that data more strategically. So this may include looking at cash flow, profitability, pricing, capacity, forecasting, business planning, and bigger financial decisions. And then there is financial foundations for DIY CEOs, which is for you if you are an early stage entrepreneur who wants to understand and manage your own numbers. So that is more of a DIY support path. It's for you if you're not ready to fully outsource yet, but you know that you need to stop winging it and start building better financial habits now. So not everyone needs the same level of support. Here we are going to be supporting you in a way that matches you where you are right now and where you're trying to go next. So this is what we're really creating for our clients. Yes, we create clear and organized financial records. Yes, we keep bookkeeping up to date every month. Yes, we provide accurate reports that you can rely on. But the deeper result is what those things make possible: a better understanding of your numbers, improved cash flow visibility, more confident decision making, less stress around your finances, more time to focus on the actual business, more consistent financial habits, and ultimately a stronger and more profitable business. Because bookkeeping is not just about checking boxes. It's not just about categorizing transactions and reconciling bank accounts. Those things do matter, of course, but the bigger purpose is clarity. When your books are clean and current, you can see what's working. You can see what needs attention. You can see where money is going. You can see whether your business is actually profitable. You can see whether the decisions you're making are aligned with the business you're trying to build. This is how bookkeeping becomes a tool for growth instead of just another task on your to-do list. So if your business finances feel messy right now, I want you to know that there is a way back to clarity. You do not have to keep avoiding your numbers. You don't have to keep guessing, and you don't have to figure out every piece of this alone. Whether you need monthly bookkeeping, DIY financial guidance, CFO level advisory support, or deeper strategic support through the Vision to Execution Accelerator, the next step is getting clear on what kind of support actually fits where you are. So you can visit ineedaclone.com to learn more about booking a discovery call for the bookkeeping side of things. And I'll drop my Calendly link in the description below if you want to meet with me to see whether or not the Vision to Execution Accelerator is the right fit for you. So if this class helped you, please make sure you subscribe because I come back every single month with another Money Matters Business Finance 101 class where we take common business finance questions and make them easier to understand. Your numbers are always telling you a story. The more clearly you can read that story, the more powerfully you can lead your business. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. Bye.